All right, shalom, shalom. All right, first and foremost, we want to give our honor, praises, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachah HaKodash. Double honors due to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and safety to the Lord's elect out there. It's the brother Yeshaya, part of Valor, South Carolina. And this lesson right here is going to be based off of a video that I stumbled upon. This guy right here, Andrew, the cigarette smoking demon, the chimney. Right. Intellectual dude, very smart, as far as these worldly talking points, give it to him. But this video right here sparked my interest because of the title. And it says Andrew torches born again virgin pastor and OF 304 for pushing false doctrine. So I had to, check this out. Now, I'm not going to play it for copyright purposes. I don't want to get flagged. These guys, they'll flag you for anything. But nevertheless, have the subject, which I'm going to go into, which is, women not being able to teach or set up to teach. Now, this woman right here, the blonde woman, she's, staunchly defending her point of women being teachers, which, doesn't have any footing, doesn't have any leverage. It's just, want to be included. But to really be a pastor or to really be a preacher really takes a lot that these women cannot bear. And I'm talking about not just standing in the pulpit and collecting money and just reciting John 3:16. The work that comes with it, the stress that comes with it, okay? And everything that comes with it is built for men, all right? And that's just how the Lord set it up. Now, I'm not going to play this video, like I said. Copyright, this is fair use, by the way, fair use. But I'm not going to try it, especially how YouTube is operating nowadays. So, without further ado, let's get some scriptures. All right, this is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 14. All right. And, Paul explicitly, gave guidelines to the church, of how to go about it the right way, how to go about it the way that Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai wants it. 1 Corinthians chapter 14 and verse 34. Let your women keep silence in the churches, for it is not permitted unto them to speak, but they are commanded to be under obedience, as also saith the law. So that right there is a big component of what we have to do in order to please Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. And that's what? Being obedient to his word. All right. Obedience. Okay. That's the reason why we're in the situation that we're in now. That's the reason why, we've been getting our ass handed to us for all of these years, man. Okay. This is about obedience. This whole thing is about obedience. All right. To Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. And part of being obedient is following the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability. And that's where grace and mercy and the blood of Yahweh Shai comes in, because what we lack, all right, the blood of Yahweh Shai basically, makes up for, okay, for lack of better words. So women are to keep silence in the churches, and that doesn't mean that they don't have a role. Okay, of course, women have an important role in the church, but it's not to be at the head of the church or the forefront of the church, which is a man's job. Verse 35, and if they will learn anything, let them ask their husbands at home, for it is a shame for women to speak in the church. So that's the order. The Lord has it to where it's man, woman. It's Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. Then it's the man, then it's the woman, then it's the children. All right, the Lord set the perfect hierarchy up. Okay, he set it up. So why not adhere to it? All right, this is for our learning. This is for our good, This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 34. And verse 31. Slaki, I'm going to start at 30. Thus shall they know that I, the Lord Yahweh, their power am with them, and that they, even the house of Israel, are my people, saith the Lord Yahweh. And ye, my flock, the flock of my pasture, are men, and I am your power, saith the Lord Yahweh. So, hey, that's the last statement of that chapter, Ezekiel 34. All right, hey, Lord said that his pasture is with men. Okay, so the Lord uses his men, okay, to do the work. Okay, now women, if you were say you wouldn't be able to strap up the boots that men do doing this work, man. Bearing the elements, bearing false tellings, bearing false witnesses, bearing all of the pressures and all of the scrutinies that people put on the men of the Lord. That's just too much for women, man. Y'all are not even capable. Y'all not even set up to be able to deal with what men deal with, especially when it comes to this ministry. All right. And women should just be happy for the place that Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua has bestowed upon them, which is what being a mother, teaching the women. Okay. All right. And look, if you were all right, you're a woman, you are cursed with the curse of a monthly cycle, aka issue. And say that happens, because a man, that doesn't happen to a man. If we get unclean, it's because we made ourselves unclean, either by what? Laying with our women, right? So that's, you know what I'm saying? You gotta after you lay with your woman, you gotta wash your body, wash your clothes, and you will be unclean until the evening. Now, when a woman reaches her cycle or goes into her issue, she is unclean for a number of days. So where will you be if you were a head of a congregation or a head of a church and your monthly comes on and you have to be gone from 7 to 14 days out of the temple? All right. That's why the Lord didn't set up for women to be in that space as far as leaders. All right. Leviticus 15:19. And if a woman have an issue, and her flesh be blood, she shall be apart 7 days. And whosoever toucheth her shall be unclean until the even. And everything that she lieth upon in her separation shall be unclean. Everything that she sitteth upon shall be unclean. So you can't have an unclean being in the temple. You can't have an unclean being around people. All right. Like I said, the only reason a man will become unclean is we do it ourselves. Okay. Mainly by touching our women. All right. And then there's protocol after that. We wash, ourselves, our bodies, wash our clothes, and then we'll be unclean until the evening. But if a woman, has her issue, she's going to be apart for 7 days, and everything that she toucheth, all right, will be unclean as well. So that shows you right there that a woman cannot be, in the temple. All right. While unclean. No one, but they have a more protocol. I mean, they're unclean for longer, pretty much. 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 3. It's like I'm gonna start at 1. Be ye followers of me, even as I also am of a Mashiach, Yahushua. Now I praise you, brethren, that ye remember me in all things and keep the ordinances as I delivered them to you. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Hamashiach, Yahushua, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Hamashiach is Yahweh. So there you go. And the head of Yahushua Hamashiach is Yahweh. All right. And every man praying and prophesying, having his head covered, dishonoreth his head. See, now when a woman is supposed to have their hair covered. So is the Lord saying that a woman can pray and prophesy with her head covered? Yeah. But your head has to be uncovered. All right, to be, in that leadership role. Okay. So that only applies to men. So obviously the seat or the position of being the head of a church or a teacher or a preacher automatically falls into the hands of a man, if that makes sense. Verse 5, but every woman that prayeth or prophesy with her head uncovereth dishonor of her head, for that is even all one as if she were shaven. But if a woman be not covered, let her also be shorn. But if it be a shame for a woman to be shorn or shaven, let her be covered. For a man indeed ought not to cover his head, for as much he is the image and glory of the Most High, but the woman is the glory of the man. So that's the whole hierarchy. The reason why we don't cover our head is because we are the glory of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. The reason why women cover their head because they're the glory of us. So that's the hierarchy. Okay, you can't just skip, what the steps that the Lord put in place, and have a woman, preaching and prophesying and doing all that. Now, you do have women prophets, okay? You do have women prophets, but that's basically under the, it has to do something to do with the man. Now, Deborah was I believe it was Deborah. That's another case where she was a judge, that the Lord set her up to be a judge, but she was a different woman. All right, that doesn't apply to you average women out there, man. Titus 2:1. But speak thou the things which become sound doctrine, that the aged men be sober, grave, temperate, sound in faith, and charity and patience. The aged women likewise, that they be in behavior as become holiness, not false accusers, not given to much wine, teachers of good things, that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children. So this is the hierarchy of the man and the woman. We serve Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, and you serve us. And likewise, you're serving Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua through us. Okay? We're the Lord's woman, and you're our woman. So it's a dynamic, if you can peep, if you're starting to peep it now. All right. Verse 5, to be discreet, chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient to their husbands, that the word of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua be not blasphemed. So there you go. All right. So the woman does have a pivotal role in, this ministry. All right. And that's to what? To serve their men. All right. And follow the guidelines that Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua set up for women. Okay. Which is, like I just read, sound in faith, temperate. All right. Not giving them much wine. All right. Teaching the younger women to be sober, and the likewise things that they're doing, so that cycle won't be a vicious cycle. It'll be a fruitful cycle. Okay. It'll be a beneficial cycle, so to say. All right. Instead of raising, these young end-ups, okay, you're raising decent women as per the guidelines of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. So, and like I said earlier, all right, let me pull up this word prophetess. Okay, this is the book of Exodus, chapter 15, and verse 20. All right, and Miriam the prophetess, the sister of Aaron, took a timbrel in her hand, and all the women went out after her with timbrels and dances. Okay, now let's see. Okay, Miriam was indeed a prophetess, but what? She was the sister of Aaron. All right, this is the word prophetess, Nabia, ancient type endowed with gift of song, Miriam. So a prophetess can be what? A woman that's endowed with the gift of song. Okay, and Miriam did have her solo in Moses' song. All right, the victorious song. All right, so that was her prophetess gift. All right, being endowed with the gift of song. Now let's see, and now look at D, wife of Isaiah the prophet. So a prophetess can be what? In the Strong's definition, a prophetess or generally inspired woman. By implication, a poetess. By association, a prophet's wife, prophetess. So there you go. All right. So yeah, man, that's the Strongs right there, man. All right. All right, let's go ahead and say that. Yeah. So there you go. So a prophetess can be one that's endowed with the gift of song, or by association, the wife of a prophet. Okay, so, when they say, oh, Deborah was a prophet and all that was a prophet, yeah. But you got to look at the situation and look at what made them a prophet and how the Lord deemed to make them a prophet, and usually it's by association of a man. 1 Peter 3:7. Likewise, Ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife, as unto the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. So there is a dynamic, and there's a beautiful dynamic of husband and wife. Okay, the husband, all right, the husband means planter. Okay, the husband, he provides, spiritually, monetarily, physically, whatever. All right, and the woman, and likewise, she receives and she also reciprocates. Okay, she makes sure that her husband is squared away. All right, she cleans, she cooks, she does everything conventionally. You know, the modern day woman, they don't take pride in that, but our women used to take pride in things like that. You know, uh, uh, um, cleaning the household or whatnot, and doing the womanly duties, man. But now it is looked down upon, it's frowned upon. Okay, you're a pick me if you do the things that conventional women used to do, man. All right, but hey, it's all good. The Lord is he's bringing it back to the days of old, man. So yeah, and I got one more. Oh, sorry, and this is not to, you know, uh, look down on women, but this is just what it is, man. This is what the Lord says. Job 39:17. Because the Most High have deprived her of wisdom, neither hath he imparted to her understanding. Okay, the Lord has deprived the woman of wisdom and understanding, man. Okay, so hey, as you being the man, you're supposed to take that up, being the head of the household, and the woman is supposed to fall into her womanly duties. And Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is shifting the spirit to where, the elect women are starting to fall back into their duties of serving their men and ultimately serving the Lord through their men. So I'm going to end it with that. Lord willing, it was edified. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua. Double honors to the apostles, the elders of Great Millstone, and peace, blessings, and safety to the Lord's elect out there. Shalom.